in the shop here working on the Franken Summit here again today. This is going to be one of those videos. I have a feeling that there's going to be a bunch more backwards in before we can get to ride it, but hopefully everything just goes well today. I'm doing a video. Let's get into the Summit Mach Z build again here today. Finally got everything in the fuel and ignition system figured out last video, and now this thing runs like a champ. But there's more work to do. Wiring is going to be the biggest one. This is the sled that caught fire. So even though it runs and mostly everything works, I just know that there's going to be something funny going on in there. We got to get the wiring figured out. Headlight, that'll be a part of the wiring stuff. Plus we got to figure out how to mount it. This machine came to us as a project. This was someone else's project that they bought off another guy who had it catch fire. So we're like person 3 with this project, basically. Front right hand shock is pooched. We have that came with the sled, brand new. Brake master cylinder, it has no brakes. The brake master cylinder is beat up. I'm gonna be taking the brake cylinder from this M8 behind me because that's a parts unit anyway, and I'll be putting it in this. So that should mount right up. That shouldn't give us any issues. I got a hood strap kit for it because there's nothing keeping the hood on right now. I've already spent a bunch of time polishing up this unit because it looks nice when it's shiny. I gotta seal up the exhaust. I'll do that last once I'm done everything else on this list. I need to find a tether cord for it. I think if I can't find a switch, I think I have a tether in one of these parts bins up there behind me that we can wire into it. Windshield, Sean's favorite coating, Plasti Dip is all over the windshield. We'll peel that off, see what's actually under there. We gotta run another line for a fuel tank vent. Another big thing we got to be doing is getting the fuel tank mounted. Since I bought this thing, the fuel tank has just been kind of sitting around because this is a project that came with mostly all the parts, but not all of them. Ran over to Sled Parlor, picked up the fuel tank straps, and also this is going to be part of the hold down stuff for the seat. This is all stuff that we have to get done today if we're going to ride it in the next video. And I want to ride it in the next video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you don't know, I spent wicked $250 buying this sled, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know if I'm going to give it away. I don't know if I'm going to ride it. I don't know if I'm going to put it in storage. They're old enough to be cool again and to have way more than enough power to be fun. The very last thing I'm going to have to do is seal up the exhaust. So before we put the exhaust on, I'm going to pop the recoil off. I'm going to pop on a new rope, get it cleaned up. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep plugging along. And brakes are going to be important at some point here. I also discovered that a bunch of these wires in here are cut. So there's going to be a little bit of testing, a little bit of relooming, a little bit of repair that I'm going to have to go through to get this stuff working again, I think. Is that your old mower?
Man, I got a 160. That's what I got.
Who else would come visit us working on sleds but Mr. Chow? What do you got for me?
You got to autograph some merch for a child.
How old's this child? 47?
I think he's 8 or 9.
Oh,
pretty excited, though.
It's not one of those guys. That's good.
Sean got it already. He already tagged it the other day.
Nice. Well, I'll sign her up.
Yeah, that's the hoodie. It's a small, but it should fit the little feller.
Okay, I may have lied a little bit about having this unit done for today. It's not looking good. In the beginning of this video, I talked about, yeah, we should be able to have this thing going unless the little things start adding up. And the little things started adding up. The headlight, I need to repair the connection a little bit better and find out how I'm actually going to route it. Because this hood is aftermarket, there's no real place for me to loom the wire through. I ran out and grabbed the parts for the fuel tank. The fuel tank's actually all mounted up now and good to go. I ran the venting through it. So the fuel system is finally complete and not giving us any issues on this thing. The mounts for that fuel tank are also the same mounts that we use for hooking up the seat, because since I got this unit, the seat's just been flopping around, sitting wherever. I replaced the shock that came with the unit. It came in our bin of parts. I noticed that the other shock on the other side that was installed was upside down, so I flipped that around. So to finish off that shock thing, I need to go get shock hardware now, because the shock hardware that was in there I didn't notice wasn't the proper hardware. It's not even the right diameter of bolts. They're not the right length. It's just stuff that was sitting in there so the unit was sitting upright. Then I went on to install the hood strap stuff, and dang it, need longer rivets. Brakes, the brakes didn't get done either. I took the reservoir, the master cylinder off the M7, but it turns out that the banjo fitting, that banjo bolt, where that brake line screws into, is a slightly different size. So I'm going to go see if I can find a new banjo bolt. If not, I need to pick up a entire new brake master cylinder for this thing. And then the biggest one here is I didn't do up the exhaust because we started leaking coolant. We started leaking coolant from the coolant tank. So I'm going to be going back to Sled Parlor now to pick up a coolant tank for this thing so that we can actually run it. So another thing added to the list. I worked on the windshield a little bit. I peeled off some of that plasti dip. This sled comes from probably an era where blacked out stuff was pretty cool, but we've got the yellow bars, the yellow suspension, and now we got the yellow windshield. Looks better than the black, I think. I figured with the recoil rope, we're in here, we might as well just do it. I don't know how old this rope is. So as I start to wrap up this project, it really is all the little things that are coming out that we need to fix up. I know I promised to ride it next video with it. Looks like I lied. Yeah, especially if we're riding it. Brakes. I want brakes. So what was I actually successful with here? Not a whole lot. For the wiring I did get done, I put a new tether on. I looked at my parts bins, found a new tether. So it now has a working kill switch. That's nice. Of course, I found the old 90s mountain bar. I stuck that on there. No 90s sled build is complete without one of those things. Now, I'm going to spend the next day or so here just picking away at this. And then when I'm done and it all works and everything, then I'll show you what I did. Because this thing, again, it looks pretty cool with the yellow hood, but it's going to look different again by the time I'm done with it next time. And then the following video, after I get the coolant stuff done, after I get the brake stuff done, then we can take it out. This year has been not great for snow conditions. And we are texting back and forth to each other like, what do we do? Since I started filming our sled trips and builds and stuff like that, I've never had a year that we had this little snow around here and this little snow in the mountains as well. Like, we don't know what we're supposed to do, and we have a brand new sled in the fleet that you guys haven't even seen yet, and the Alpha Turbo has a track on it. I even have like a brand new Adapt clutch here sitting on the table, ready to go in the turbo. I'm just waiting for my my tuning to come into it, because I do have a new track on that. If there's snow, we'll ride it. Yeah, there might just be some builds and shenanigans coming, but it's not good. Anyways, I'll worry about that. Thanks everybody for watching. And myself, Ben, Sean, everybody here at Six's Backcountry, keep your shtick on the ice. We'll see everybody in the next video real soon. Discord link down there if you're a dork. You can come hang out with us.